All right. Well, here we are, September 28th. Let's just go around the boxes here. Jamie?
All right.
What's been going on with you?
I am finally closing the book on this smart docketing tool. Well, like my part of it at least. So this will be my last stand-up meeting. Yes. So the link to the most updated code is on Trello, and I can also send it separately to Michelle for her review. So I added a few more. Yes.
And where do we stand on transferring the repo? Is the repo now in the assembly line organization, or is it still under your personal account?
Oh, it's still under my personal account. So I was gonna actually ask Michelle to do that because I don't know why. I didn't understand what you just said. I'll ask Michelle to do it.
You'll need to do something because you're the owner, but
yeah, I won't be able to do it, but I can tell you how to do it, or
perfect.
Or we can add it to the mass access, and not mass access to AL Massachusetts. But
I'll talk to Michelle separately, and then I added a few more notes on a few more comments on the code, just sort of clarify the next steps, and then that's it. That's it for me.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for for this month here of moving across country / providing a little bit of a coding help while you're getting ready for your new gig, and good luck with that.
Thank you. It's been pretty wild. It's been a lot of time spent on Stack Overflow and learning Python from basics. Yeah, because I think this is my first time writing code for something that works. I think in school, like all we did was write code that drew pictures on Spider or something, and then like print "Hello World" repeatedly. So this was quite an experience. So thanks.
Well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I think we already have some folks who are thinking about picking the baton. So it will continue to be moved forward. Great. Next up, Michelle.
very quick. I got nothing. Good. All right. Next.
Quentin.
Moving along on finishing up the Tyler stuff. Bryce graciously donated some time to help me catch up to speed and caught a couple of things that we hadn't been thinking about on our roadmap still. So, but I think we're making really good progress. This is really dense time in the process, and you can really see how much work has already been done to get us here. We'll just take time to go through them all. Nothing too crazy. A couple of minor blockers where we're not quite sure what's wrong, and we asked Tyler for some feedback. Cool. Moving along.
Bryce.
Quentin summarized most of it. Yeah, we met and we've done some things that we hadn't decided. Yeah, Tyler's being weird, and at one point there was a small error that we were getting back, an unknown error that I had to try and figure out myself, and now we're just not getting any information back when we try to ask for return dates specifically. So waiting for any response on that, and I am taking a look at integrating am integrating the divorce interview for Louisiana. It should all be in. There's it is like a very few number of lines of code to actually get it in, and it's, I think, mostly I'm just trying to get Docker to play well with the older version that I have to switch back to. So there's just a decent amount of, I have to update the config
and just
stuff.
And just make sure you coordinate with Amanda Teams so that you don't have conflicts pop up.
Yeah. I made like a second branch, and I saw that she committed a few things, but before I try and merge back in, I'll shoot her a few emails to make sure that she didn't have anything else to change.
Cool. Lisa, we're just doing stand-up check-ins.
I just heard the last part of the update about the Louisiana Forum. So Apologies for having missed the very beginning of that, but it just sounds like there's some code changes maybe, and I'll be hearing more about it probably on Friday at the LSBA meeting.
Yeah, I mean, we're in somewhat of a holding pattern because the court obviously is not, it has their hands full with all sorts of other stuff right now. But I mean, Amanda's group has basically sort of got the forms to MVP status, and so we're just updating those on our testing server. And so they're
Well,
just
that's
sitting
great, because then when things,
Yeah.
when things gear up again, you'll be, things will be
Yeah,
ready.
the hope is that we'll be able to, we've set a touch base for the middle of October with the court. And at that point, the discussion will be how do we move things from the test server to the court servers, and then move forward from there. But the underlying work has all been done. It's really just sort of about moving where they live and having the court spin up their own versions of some servers.
And these are going to be hosted by the Supreme Court's own servers, correct? So they're accessible.
That's correct.
That's what I thought. That's what I'd heard. Well, great.
So there'll be the Supreme Court's babies, which is to say that they'll come with the stamp of the Supreme Court. The hope being that makes it harder for courts to say no.
Yeah, it's funny because we've had some standardized forms forever, the most controversial of which sometimes is the inform or papyrus form, meaning some people say fee delay or a fee waiver, though that's not entirely accurate, but it's a lot easier to grasp. But you all are familiar with that. And that form has been around a long, long time. And it's helped greatly because it's got mandatory language in the rules of court, but you would not believe how many issues still arise.
Oh, I'd believe it.
Or maybe you would. But it's a big step forward and it's really important. And having them automated should certainly give them a boost, a huge boost. But I agree, having that good housekeeping seal of approval on them is really, or Supreme Court seal of approval is really, really, really great. So that's all.
And the hope is, the hope is these are just a proof of concept, and then they decide to build out more. Because they didn't even touch the papyrus form for this one. It's just name change and a simple, I forget what it's called. It's like a 2 something or other divorce, like the simple divorce without kids, without assets,
yeah, like a 103.1. Yeah, I mean, I've done those too, and I've automated. There are a bunch of automated versions of that around because I did that like 10 years ago, and I said Cheeto Ramen. You probably, Amanda knows them, but anyway, it's great.
Although I think they just
that
changed it, right? They just last month they changed it. They changed something about the process.
Yeah, the law changes every so often, but that's good. Those are 2 good places to start because name change for some weird reason hasn't been out there. The IFP form actually could use an overhaul by now. So the fact that you haven't done that one yet is probably no harm, So
I think we wanted to, but it's one of those things where that one was harder to get everyone to agree on what it should look like, right? So, but anyhow, that was just
doing the name change. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. There's a delay.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry, I didn't mean to tread on you. There was a delay.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. No worries.
I think you have the exact right approach because it is, getting buy-ins really hard and taking something that's not too controversial to start, even though like the divorce forms can be controversial because there's a segment of the bar that would like to earn its living doing this, but given that they're on the court servers, there's not the issue that we had with our legal aid funded forms where they were intended only for people who could not afford a lawyer. So the thing is, you'll probably get a lot of attorneys using them. And the only potential downside that some states faced is some states had attorneys pluck these off the internet and then basically sell them to people or sell the opportunity to use them to people. So I haven't heard about that in Louisiana, so that's good, but then some people said if they're doing that and they're doing a better job, at least they'll maybe have higher quality work products. So it's a very complicated issue, but I think you guys are totally going in the right direction. So it's great to see.
A cynical person might say that that's all some people do when they take paper forms and fill them out for their clients.
Yeah, there's information, there are things going on the map. It's like, it's hard to have any hard and fast rules.
But any updates or anything you want to share? Or
I'll actually have more if I'm able to join you on Friday, because there's a joint meeting of the committee and the commission of the Access to Justice program for the state bar. So there might be something more interesting by that point. But in the meantime, not too much other than I shared our automated dual language forms information with the self-represented litigant network. And I didn't share the actual forms, but just kind of contributed to the discussion very briefly. So that's about it on that.
cool. Well, I've been busy tying up all the loose ends on a grant that is ending and pulling as hard as I can to get a new grant to start, and doing all sorts of people management with another set of funders. The takeaway for this group is, Quentin, I know you have a commitment tomorrow morning, but Bryce, after our appeals meeting tomorrow, I'll have some questions for you that maybe you can help me just point me in the right direction for stuff for that report. And then anything that I need you for, Quentin, we can catch up on after the funder call in the afternoon, or asynchronously if your schedule allowing, whatever's I don't know where you came down on attendance. But yeah, that's me, paper work guy. Well, that's not entirely true. I did a whole bunch of coding for the spot stuff and running a new model build right now, but it's not assembly line. So, all right. Anything else people want to? We're sort of in this stage since Quentin, Bryce, and I all are on deadline for the grant, which is the deadline's Thursday on some stuff. Although we have stuff that's slipping past that deadline, we're still trying to do a sprint there. I'm inclined to not pull things out longer than they need to be.
I do know we said yesterday,
yeah,
though.
we said for Matt, yeah.
Yeah. So we still want to.
Yeah. So I think what I'd say is we have 15 minutes. We could hop off and hop back on for Matt at Teaching Tuesday. Or if people want to sit around and talk for 15 minutes, it's fine. But I think we can